full-size American pickup market in Australia is certainly hotting up as we get to the end of 2023. That's because Ford has just brought back its iconic F-150 model. Now that Effie arrives at a time when Ram, which is currently the market leader for these trucks, is running out of its original DS models, going into the full DT range, which is a newer truck. Now, the big thing about that DS, it came in at less than $100,000 for that Ram Express model, and that was hugely popular with buyers. But now, no longer can you get a Ram for less than 100 grand. They start now at $119,950, and that's for this one, the Ram 1500 Bighorn. This one is a 1500 Bighorn long wheelbase, so you add $1,000 to the price, you get a longer wheelbase with a bigger bed on the back, which is great for people that like to carry lots of stuff in the tray. It still comes with a V8 engine, 8-speed auto, full-time four-wheel drive, all the features you really want. Cuts back on a lot of the luxury trim, but still a great working truck. We're out here in the hills of Victoria with the truck to see how it goes. As with all these full-size American pickups, the Ram 1500 Bighorn has two major advantages over your mid-size utes. The first is its towing capability. It's rated standard to 3500, which is the maximum rating for your mid-sizes, and it does that easily, which a lot of those other utes just cannot keep up with. But if you want to go even bigger with your big van, huge boat, whatever, these can tow up to 4,500 kilos when you put a 70mm tow ball on there. And they do that quite easily as well, which is amazing performance when you consider how big a van you can carry at that weight. The second big advantage of these trucks is their interior space, in the front seats and in the back. And if you've got 3 adults in the back or teenagers, they've got plenty of room there. Their knees aren't going to be touching the backs of the seats in front of you. You've got shoulder room for 3 people across, there's heaps of space. And something Ram does really well is they make it very versatile. The rear seats in this fold up, hard up against you, give you plenty of floor space to put luggage down. They even include tie down hooks so you can tie down your cargo on that floor space. You can put a fridge there or something like that. Perfect for travelling. There's so much storage inside these cars. This Ram, being the long wheelbase, gives you that extra length in the tray. It's got a longer wheelbase and a longer tray. The big advantage of that is if you're someone who likes to go dirt bike riding, you can put your dirt bikes in the back and put the tailgate up and carry them in there. Like most of these American trucks though, they don't have a massive payload. So yeah, putting a couple of dirt bikes in there is okay, but you're not going to put a ton in one of these cars. They're just not made to carry it. Now the Ram 1500, and it's got more than the Silverado or the F-150. This has got, I think it's about 830 kilos payload. I'll have to double check that. Whereas both the Silverado and the F-150 are in the 700, so it's a bit better in that regard. Combine that with your 3500 towing, does that work easily. Makes them for great touring vehicles no matter what you want to tow with. For an entry-level vehicle, this is quite well appointed inside. Yeah, you've got a smaller screen here for the Uconnect system, but it's still got wireless CarPlay, Apple Android, all that sort of stuff. All the features are there. It's got a manual air conditioning system, which is, yeah, kind of unusual to use in this day and age, but hey, it does the job. It's got a pretty good stereo system in it. One thing that doesn't feel low rent is this steering wheel. It's quite thick, it's got a leather-like feeling to it and softly padded. It gives a quality feel. It's amazing the difference that makes compared to a lot of other cars. The seats are cloth, and if I've got one complaint about this interior is that the driver's seat does not have height adjustment. Now, for a taller driver like me, it has me looking out the top section of the steering wheel, which is quite annoying. And my knees are almost hitting the steering column, which, yeah, you don't expect that in any modern car these days. And also, when you're looking out the window there, you're almost looking down to the road. And the Ram has a massive bonnet. I've got an acre of bonnet space here and then a top paddock worth of dashboard to look at, where I'd rather be sitting lower and looking straight ahead. All in all, you can sit in this truck and tow for hours, drive up and down the coast wherever you need to go, towing your horses, towing your boat, whatever you choose to do. So many options you can use to make these things great tourers. They're not always the best off-road vehicles. They're very big, they're very heavy, and they're actually quite low. This one's got side steps on it, which makes it even lower, and they're quite vulnerable. But it has got part-time and a full-time on-demand four-wheel drive system, high and low range. So it'll get you out of sticky spots when you need to, but it's not going to be something you take up the roughest tracks of the high country. If you really want to do that, There is so many accessories you can buy for these things. The American market is loaded with bits and pieces, whether you want massive suspension, touring suspension, big wheels and tyres, bull bars, nudge bars, all the accessories you could ever want to buy, you can get for a Ram. We've brought the Ram Bighorn out over a wide variety of roads today. B-grade country roads with bad sealed surfaces, dirt roads and a few bush tracks. We've determined that it's big, it's long and it's low, so it's not really good for off-road bush tracks. Not in standard trim anyway. You could fix that if you really wanted to. Where this thing really excels, and it'd be a beautiful long distance touring vehicle. If you're towing with a family on board, going around Australia, that sort of touring, this is really a perfect car for that sort of situation.